Are you in my chair? Are you sitting in my motherfucking chair? Get out of my chair. It's a good thing you're cute. Hi. Alright. You're such a ham. Stop it. You're just doing that because the camera's on. Oh, shh. I just dropped him. He's okay, I promise. We're gonna do some Ask Brent. Sorry, Sparks. Shit. Can't pay for that shit. That'll be a vet bill. So yeah, Ask Brent. It's our first one. Today we have a question. Let me look it up here. Smudge my glasses. From Woodbridge, Ignacio. Ignacio asks, "What keeps you up at night?" Now, I can go so many ways with this one. Like what keeps me from going to sleep. Usually it's coffee. I drink too much coffee. You can tell. But from a philosophical standpoint, I do wonder what the state of media will be like in the next couple of years. We live in a time where people consume, they take and they use and they just watch and they look at and they read and they just they consume at a very alarmingly gluttonous rate, but they do it also in a way that doesn't really provide any proper respect to the media. But worse so is the fact that half the time they're really not, more than half the time, they're really not paying for it. And it's not about money, it's about being paid for the things that allow us to get to the next level. It's about doing something and sending it off to the world so that you can turn around and make the next thing. And there are all these great artists. There's all these great musicians. There's all these great even pornographers and filmmakers who are working day jobs, who are really on top of their game, and people love their work. But because people aren't buying their work, they're cubicling it, and it's a little frustrating. And it's because we live in a time where if you read my GED magazine interview, and if you read a lot of the things that I talk about quite often, I speak candidly about the state of media and the fact that they're definitely, they're here, they're online, they're looking at shit, but they're not paying for it. And, it's just a question of what's right. And we live in a time where it is across the board, young people, old people, all kinds of people think it is okay to not pay for the media they consume, whether it's movies or music or just porn. And even if it's offered free and legally, it kind of creates this sort of domino snowball effect where if you're not buying it at any point, then what you're really not doing is you're not helping out your favorite porn stars or your favorite actors. You're making it harder for that next film to get made, so that actor doesn't get another job, which makes it harder for another good film to be made, and it sort of like creates this situation. And that keeps me up at night. Where are you going to be in 2, 3 years, 4 years? Print media is just about dead. It's barely even hanging on, and it's been going for years, but it's practically gone now. What are we going to jerk off to when the lights go out? I don't know. But I'm really worried. I'm worried that kids today, and not just kids, think that it's okay. I stay up at night thinking about how people just don't buy what they consume. And it isn't really necessarily about whether or not I'm paying my bills all the time. A huge part of it, it's like when we eat McDonald's. It's like when we eat Jack in the Box. It's food. It's not good food, but it's tasty food, and we just gobble it up. We just eat it, and there's no nutritional value, and it kind of creates a situation where, yes, we're taking on all this stuff at an alarming rate. We're just kind of shoveling it in, and almost none of it is of quality. But because we're not paying for it and supporting the artists and really actually doing right by the people that are producing it, putting it out there, we're ultimately kind of creating, we're undercutting the industry. Everyone says, "I'm your biggest fan," or "Oh, I love your work," or and I really wonder. I don't ask this question often, but I really do wonder. You're my biggest fan, but have you ever really actually bought anything from me? But even beyond that, I work with one of the biggest studios in the adult industry, and they've been the most successful for years. They're a legend company, Falcon. I mean, they and just to get people to stand up and put their money where their mouth is, and is rough today. It's tough. They've been around. They've got the best track record everywhere. Everyone knows that what they're going to send you is quality. You're never going to miss a dick going in the hole. So I stay up at night. I wonder if going back into porn is going to mean whether or not I can actually fucking, put food on my table. And that's the long answer. Really long answer. But hopefully this will encourage you guys to, when you can, I realize not everyone can, but when you can, to consume by buying. That's why you see a lot of times when I'm on Twitter, I'll say, "Hey, while doing my dishes, I'm listening to XYZ. Here's a link," and then they say, "Listen, love, and share. And if you like it, buy your own copy." Because I don't want to share things with people if y'all are just going to steal it or use it and not kind of kick some love back to the artists. I listen to Pandora, for instance, and I love it. I use it to listen to new music because I want to buy new music. And while I can always just turn on Pandora, flip it on, and listen to it on my little iPhone or whatever, I a lot of the time, if I really genuinely like something, a particular song or a particular artist, I will go out and buy their stuff on iTunes because I know that means their next album's coming out. If I don't do that, it's not coming out. And one day we're going to find that our favorites are gone. Last point is someone made a really great comment on YouTube the other day. It was, I wish he undercut himself by going back to porn. I wish that he had stayed in mainstream. I wish that he went to Hollywood and did that. And that's a beautiful thought. And I'm not gone. I'm still doing non-adult films. But the reality is, people are not paying for that stuff. That it's really difficult to be an independent filmmaker, and even more difficult to make film in the LGBT media market. Those films get only seen at independent film festivals. You got to get your butts in seats and go see those movies. You got to buy tickets and support your festivals. You got to buy those DVDs. Don't steal them. And that's how you get better gay films made. So that's why I couldn't make a living. And unfortunately, Brent Corrigan bagging groceries at the corner store as his day job or waiting tables was just not, I tried it actually. I worked at an American Apparel once, and I kept getting noticed, and people were wondering, "I thought you were rich. Why are you working here?" And then I had to go through all this with them. Neither here nor there. So what keeps me up at night? Here you go, Ignacio, and all you out there. Keeps me up at night is people not buying their shit. And hopefully that reminds you a little bit to do the right thing. And pay what you consume. Pay for what you consume. All right, Brent Corrigan, over and out. You can find me all the time at thenewbrentcorrigan.com. Hopefully I didn't talk your ear off. Hopefully you're still listening to this. I'm going to go walk my dog. Bye.